Hey everybody, welcome. Rob here. We're here at the compound at Elite Experience, so we're on the north side. I'd like to thank our good friend Eric Banning from Wine, Dine, and Unwind for filming this for me. Starting to see another reoccurring theme, so I figure it's time for a video. What we want to talk about today is anterior pelvic tilt and low back pain. So we're starting to see a lot of people come in that suffer from low back pain, and usually what's happening, they're seated at a desk all day, keyboard warriors, kind of stuck in this seated position with the hips shortening up. So what we see is anterior pelvic tilt here, and then to stay upright, what you have to do is actually come up here, so you're in low back extension. That being on all day, it's really taxing on the back. So what we're going to do is try and bust up the hips a little bit. So we're going to first start off with a nice warm up. It's easier to work with warm muscles than cold, and as a rule of thumb, you always want to do it the cold. So what we're going to do, after a good warm up, we're going to go to this here, foam roller, or the poor man's massage as we call it. Alright, we're going to do down on the front, and we're actually going to roll out the hip flexors. Okay. So you kind of look like a dog hopping a football, but you're going to have to check your ego at the door and just get this done. So I'm going to put this across here, and we want to roll it across the psoas. So we're just going to work our way up and down the roller. And you're going to find that one spot where it really hurts and it kind of sucks to be there. That means you need to do that spot more. So hang out there for a few seconds, a couple of deep breaths, and keep rolling that out. Okay. And we're going to work our way down into the quads. So, and then you want to get out to the outside a little bit, across the TFL. There you go. Stage one. So what that does, it's kind of like, if you look at the way the muscles are supposed to work, they're supposed to slide in and out of one, or across each other real smoothly. So what happens is a lot of runners, a lot of cyclists and things like that get all this lactic acid buildup, calcium deposits, things like that, and it forms like almost like when you skin your knee, a little scar. And what this does is it actually pushes down and breaks it all up and separates it so they slide together better. So that's the reason we use foam roller. So after that's done, we're going to introduce something, light stretches. So what we want to do is goblet squats next. This is really good at opening up the hips. If your groin doesn't feel like it's going to explode, you're probably doing it wrong. Okay. So what we're going to do is hold this chest height in front of you. We're going to take a big wide stance. The reason we're doing this barefoot, you get a lot of running shoes nowadays have that raised up sole, and it's actually going to push you out towards the toe. So barefoot's going to let you sit back on the heels a little bit better. Big wide stance, we're going to drive the knees out and sit back on the heels. Okay, chest up high. So shoot the hips back. Boom. Ideally, we want to try and get our knees inside the hips. Okay. Just going to come up from there. Okay, fire the glutes at the top, pinch the butt. Hit a couple of those. Another thing that works really well is a modified Spider-Man, we call it. So what we're going to do, go down in the plank position. You're really ambitious, you can fire a push-up here. What we're going to do is drop down to the knees, almost a girl push-up. No offense to the girls. And what we're going to do is just slide one foot through. Okay? So we're kind of in that Spider-Man position now. What we're going to do is just cross the hands here and come up and back. Feel a good stretch through the hip flexors here. Take a couple deep breaths there, and as you exhale, you can feel it let go a little bits at a time, and then you can just kind of rock forward into it to get a little more stretch out of that. Okay. There's a few little things you can do to bust up the hips. Once you get that going, you really want to strengthen that area. So look at some compound lifts. We usually start with a box squat, just a bodyweight box squat. So what it does is it crosses the hip joint, and what we also need to do is strengthen the glutes and the hamstrings as well. So look at box squats, rack pulls over there, which gets you into that hip extension. That's really good for breaking those up. And then you also want to look at, those are your main strength building lifts. Look at some unilateral lifts, like a step up and a lunge, and that's going to provide a little bit more mobility and stability. Okay, so try those things out, let me know how it works, and I'll do a follow-up video to this with some more advanced lifts. Alright, thanks guys for watching. Cheers.